If you're looking at these two pictures above, the one on the left is obviously of Europe, a heavily populated continent with 52 different countries. The one on the right, it's different, and not because it's white in color, but because even though it's 1.5 times bigger than Europe, it's the only continent with no government. The closest thing it has is a washed out 10% office in Buenos Aires whose job is to keep things running smoothly among the 53 nations that together govern Antarctica. But what exactly is the reason behind Antarctica's no government? It sure is not the cold or the freezing temperature. It goes all the way back to 1959 when the Treaty of Antarctic was signed, which declared that the continent is a common heritage of mankind and that no country can claim any part of it. No military and industrial activity was allowed, and for the most part of the last century, the terms of the treaty was well respected. But the things have started changing lately, and more countries are eyeing Antarctica, violating the treaty, claiming territories, and establishing their strong presence in the no man's land. But who are these countries, and what makes Antarctica so important to them? Since the turn of the 20th century, 7 countries made territorial claims. Firstly, on the basis of prior episodes of exploratory activity, industrial exploitation in the form of whaling and sealing, and alongside scientific research. This selected group of countries included United Kingdom and its Commonwealth allies, Australia and New Zealand. And you can see the conflicting claims made by these countries. Argentina and Chile made claims to similar territories, and the 2 South American countries contended that their territorial interests were rooted in an imperial inheritance from the former colonial power, Spain. The British also extended its claims south of Falkland Islands. Meanwhile, if you want to know what's going around the world and want to make sense out of it, things which conventional media will never tell you, then do subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon below. To ease the tension, United States played a major role in negotiating the Treaty of Antarctica, initially between these 12 nations. These countries agreed to set aside question of sovereignty when they signed this treaty. Antarctica was established as a scientific preserve, free from the military nuclear tests and radioactive waste disposal. Gradually, as the year passed by, more and more countries signed this treaty, and today this number stands at 54. But there was one big problem. Most of these countries reserved their right to claim Antarctica in future. Tension rose once again in the international arena when Argentina invaded Falkland Islands of the Great Britain in 1982. Apparently, both Chile and Argentina have national maps that depicts Argentina and Chile going all the way to the South Pole. Both these countries have carried out a number of activities to strengthen their claims, including allowing several children to be born to their citizens on that continent. Even Australia claimed 45% of landmass of Antarctica due to its close proximity on multiple occasions. United States, Russia, and China have increased their presence in Antarctica over the past decade. China now reportedly interested in building its first permanent airfield. And just like that, more and more violations and territorial claims have been witnessed. What makes Antarctica so important is its economical and strategic significance in many domains. For starters, the number of tourists, majorly from United States and China, is increasing at a rapid rate. And in the year 2018, 51,000 tourists were reported in Antarctica. Fishing is another major industry which attracts both Russia and China, and the treaty system is struggling to protect the resources in southern oceans, where fishing for krill is on the rise. The search for plant and animal species for commercial exploitation is the next kid on the block, and so far, it's unregulated. The continent is also rich in mineral resources and has a large reserve of both gas and oil. Mining is prohibited, but it's not impossible that the demand for rare earth metal could lead to calls for mining rules to be overturned. The stakes are pretty high for each country claiming Antarctica, and it's clear that the treaty has become outdated and lacks the means to punish its violators. While there is no indication that anyone is about to take the steps of quitting the treaty system, there are no signs of reforms either. No man's land is becoming more and more integrated to the rest of the world, and so the era of splendid isolation is well and truly over.